Okay, it's 10 o'clock in the morning. I think it is time to get this webinar started. Thank you very much for joining. First of all, welcome everybody to the Skillman webinar today on knowledge alliances in the maritime sector. Thank you very, very much for attending the event, and I hope we can have more and more your participation later on. As you can see in the chat section, as my colleague Luca Guardincelli has already mentioned, all participants are muted at this very time. Later on, after the presentations will be given, there will be some interactive activities and question and answer section. So everybody can take the microphone later and share the comments and ask questions and so on. So everybody will be able to speak later on today. Let's get it started. I hear a background noise. Let me check if there's one. If there's someone with the microphone turned on. Okay, I guess Luca can take care of this. I shall go on with the presentation. If everybody can see my screen. All right. So let's get it started. Not this one, not this one. Yes, this one. Okay, so first of all, this is an overview of today's speakers. Elena Romanini, Skillman's Senior Project Manager, is going to be the main speaker today at this webinar. She also has a very good experience with the Knowledge Alliance project, so she will show us later and illustrate the main features of the Knowledge Alliance. She will be shouldered by our Senior Project Manager, Mr. Fabio Croci, and my name is Valentina De Vico. I am the Communication Manager of the Skillman team. I have been in touch with all of you already for the invitation and to give the instructions to today's webinar. And I'll be moderating today's event alongside Mr. President Giovanni Crisona, who is connected today. I will give the word to him later. Okay, so the main topic of today's webinar, actually, as everybody knows, is knowledge alliances in the maritime sector. So some of our international experts are already connected to the chat. Many of those will be connected later on in the upcoming minutes. But so we have a quite diverse audience today at the webinar. I hope that everybody can contribute later. And the main objective, just to state it right now in the beginning, the main objective of this webinar is to establish with all of you some solid partnerships and work together on future European project proposals. For this purpose, we have different sections during this webinar. Obviously, those who are not familiar with the Skillman network might want to have a few more details about general information about the network and also about the events and activities that we have been implementing. So I'll be giving a general overview on this side. Then Elena Romanini will introduce the knowledge alliances. We'll talk about their features, geographic coverage, and their objectives. Then again, she will explain the eligibility requirements, and she will share other details that we hope can be useful to our audience today. In the following part, then Fabio Croci will show previous European project calls in the maritime sector as a reference for all of you. And he will also be presenting the main features of the workspace that we intend to use to work together and collaborating with all of you. Then the last part will be an interactive section. Specifically, it will be a word cloud activity. It will be followed by the question and answer section, and we'll finish with the closing remarks. Yes, as you see from the screen, first of all, what is Skillman? Skillman, for those who have already participated to some of our events, you might already have an idea. But for those who are not that familiar yet, Skillman is an international network of a multitude of stakeholders, including policymakers, industries, individuals, research centers, universities, etc., TVET providers, of course. The main aim of the network is to introduce an exchange in skills, provide innovative curricula to industries and in the advanced manufacturing sector, and also to facilitate cross-working activities among international experts. Our network was founded in 2014, and since then we have more and more active members. Nowadays we have more than 550 members, and they come from 84 different countries all over the world. The Skillman network cooperates with some international organizations, as you can see from your screen right now. One of them is AER, the Assembly of European Regions. I think the representative of this organization will be or is already connected with us today, Agnese Pantaloni. Then IVETA, the International Vocational Education and Training Association, and we have the honor today to have Julian Ang, the Vice President of the European region. Then Cumulus, the International College of Association of College of Media, Design and Art, and EAPRIL, the European Association for Practitioner Research on Improving Learning. Now, all the events that we have already designed and implemented are facilitated and promoted by those organizations. We are also very, very proud to be cooperating with ETF, the European Training Foundation. So this is a very big honor for us to be in partnership with them as well. Today's webinar actually is one of 18 webinars on European fund opportunities that we have designed and implemented. As you see from your screen here, those are just 4 of them. We'll be organizing more and we'll be giving you the details later on the next events. We have already worked on capacity building in higher education. Today's webinar is on knowledge alliances in the maritime sector. And later on, we will have one on policymakers in July, followed by youth policy and other topics later on. So as I already mentioned, the ultimate objective of organizing these webinars is to set up fruitful partnerships with different organizations. So I kindly encourage your participation and your dynamic discussions, so later on we can be, let's say, more solid in our forthcoming work. All right, so having said this, one last remark before I give the word and the floor to Mr. Giovanni Crisona for his greetings. As I mentioned already, later on we'll have a section, an interactive section, where we will do some in preparation for that part. I encourage all of you to first access the platform slido.com, which is the platform where we will be having those activities, and access the page, the platform with code word clouds. Alternatively, you can scan the QR code on the right of the screen and enter the page. For now, you just have to access the page. Later on, when the section comes, it will be easier for you to interact. So that's all from my side. I pass the floor to Giovanni Crisona, who is connected with us today. Thank you, Giovanni Crisona, and let's enjoy his greetings. Thank you very much.
Good morning to everybody. It's again a very, very great honor for me to see how our organization grow up and is able to implement very important initiatives like this one on maritime sector. I I don't have a specific technical speech to do today, but I wish that our work will be fruitful in terms of collaboration building, to build a new partnership. And so it's my turn here to give the idea on what there is behind of this. I have participated yesterday to the conference organized by Tecnica with the important guests from the European Commission. We have seen also ETF was mentioning our collaboration in regard of the establishment of the COVES network, and we have these 5 examples that were presented yesterday at this conference. And I would remark that all these activities that we are doing right now are finalized to make this network of COVES, Centers of Vocational Excellence, that we have built and we are running with the contribution of several national Ministry of Education, Innovation, and regional authorities, regional governments, and so on, that this network can grow up, can continue to grow up, and take the relevance that is already recognized, but that is in our potentials to be developed and to be effective in terms of benefits for the participants. So the maritime sector, I think, can also express this kind of collaboration, aiming to go to in the direction of the global COVES model. If you remember the slogan, the future of TVET, TVET in the future, is what we aim, what we wish to reach, to make a sort of positive collaboration that allow us to foresight the future of TVET and to design the future of TVET. And of course, it's necessary, as you are organizing in these different with these different webinars, is relevant to address all different all sectors, all particular views or clusters and dimensions where TVET can express its potentials. I think that the message that we have at the base of our actions, that is the need to re-engineer the TVET for change, can find room in this context, because the maritime sector, it's strategic, is very important, and it is consequently very important even for our members and for creating this network of reinforcing this network of COVES that we are bringing on. I don't want to take longer your time. I hope that this, I wish that this webinar will introduce our members to the effective of potentials that we can express in terms of collaboration and project proposals. I see also that, for example, our members from Athens, Manos Andreadis, is connected. I know how much they are involved in this kind of initiatives and projects. So I think that there are all the conditions to create new project proposals, new collaboration, new partnership under the umbrella of the global COVES approach of Skillman network. Thank you very much to all the members of the Skillman Secretariat, because I think that you are dealing in the really better way that we can think in this regard, in organizing very participative activities. I have seen also what we are doing through the base camp groups. I see that there is a movement and animation in the platform. So it's important, the interaction. It's important now to go on with these specific proposals and with this specific attention to individual sectors and clusters. Thank you for your collaboration. Thank you to participate, and thank you, Valentina, to give me the possibility to express my gratitude to all of you for the work that we are doing.
Okay, thank you very much, Giovanni, for your comments, for your words, for your greetings. I think now we're ready to go on to the next speaker, the main speaker of today, as I already mentioned, Elena Romanini, our senior project manager. She will get into the core of the knowledge alliances, so I will just give the word to her directly. Elena, can you hear me?
Yes, of course. Thank you. Good morning to everybody. I hope you can hear me very well. And thank you, Valentina, for supporting me in rolling the slides. Some slides we prepared in order to share an overview of these action knowledge alliances. First of all, before going into deep in knowledge alliances applied to maritime sector, it could be useful to share some peculiarities of these action regarding the characteristics of the knowledge alliances as tool itself. Speaking about the knowledge alliances, first of all, we can say that we are under the umbrella of the Erasmus Plus program, and knowledge alliances represent one of the most complex action program. First of all, we can say that speaking about knowledge alliances, as the name says, we are speaking about multi-stakeholders platform that cooperate, so different organizations that cooperate together for obtaining concrete and transferable and reusable results, strictly tied up to the innovation of the education system, the higher education institutions, and higher education supply chain, together with companies and businesses. So the knowledge alliances as a platform of partners and consortia are aimed at fostering innovation in higher education and business sector, according to the higher education agenda, innovation agenda. Knowledge alliances are open to any sector and are based and focused on cross-sectoral cooperation. So partner, if they are interested in developing technical proposal under the different calls, they have to focus and identify common challenges in order to try to develop through the projects themselves tools or initiatives that can be useful to answer to unsatisfied needs. So, for example, emerging needs of both the system, higher education institutions and companies, as said. We can proceed with the second slide in order to share some other main concept. Thank you, Valentina. So, some main objectives of its actions. Knowledge alliances can focus on co-design, develop and testing together with the partnership of innovative and multidisciplinary approaches to teaching and learning. So new approaches to teaching and learning, for example, referring to the digital transformation of learning, that is a crucial item in this period and since some years now. New ways and new approaches to teaching and learning within a university or higher institutions are related also to reinforcing the business education partnership in these activities, for example, through the so-called hybrid teaching experience. An interesting of knowledge alliances that could be considered a cross-cutting interest is related to entrepreneurship education. So embedding entrepreneurship skills in higher education existing curricula or a new training offer that could be co-designed for upskilling and reskilling of workforce of the companies of the different sector could be one of the focus of these platforms, we can say. At the basis of the Knowledge Alliance, partners have to take into account that the main focus could be the exchange of the available knowledge, the exchange and mutual improvement of existing expertise, so a sort of mutual peer improvement as basic approach to the co-creation of knowledge for future sustainability of results and outputs, and also for the reuse of the developed tools. So some main remarks, some key features and key concepts we have to take into account speaking about knowledge alliances. We have said innovation. Of course, these kind of projects are very ambitious and challenging projects. The partnerships have to work, are asked to work on something innovative that could change the state of the art. So innovation, cross-sectorial innovation regarding education system and companies. Sustainability regarding the created partnership. So once again, business education partnership that be created, and they have to remain sustainable and reinforced over the duration of the project. Impact, we can define impact as the potential of changes that our projects can produce. So knowledge alliances are asked to change the existing state of the art, producing relevant innovations, relevant modifications of the existing curricula or the existing tool in education and in company training. Concrete results and future reusable results that can be exploited for further innovation within the partnership and over the partnership of the project itself. Next slide, Valentina, please. Okay, geographic coverage. Knowledge alliances regarding the geographic coverage of the action is very, very wide. So they are open to all countries worldwide. Some requirements are mandatory in order to build the consortia, and we can recognize as eligible both program countries and partner countries. Okay, so the EU countries, 27 EU countries, because we have to take into account the effort of the Brexit process, and some non-EU countries that are considerable at the same level of the memberships, we can say. And after all other partners of belonging to the different countries worldwide. With a difference, we can explain better in the next slide, because we can proceed. Okay, so eligible organization regarding the possible applying to the project, we have a wide spectrum of eligible organizations, from higher education institutions, research institutions, public or private stakeholders, public or private enterprises, we can say, and remembering that companies, we can consider companies as large-sized companies, medium-sized, even SMEs, and social enterprises. Public stakeholders that can support the complementarity of the consortia themselves, and other organizations, for example, that can represent companies or economic operators, the chambers of commerce, business support organizations in general. Regarding the requirements we have to respect in composing the consortia, next slide, please, Valentina, thank you. We have to respect these main requirements. So the consortia has to be composed, must be composed by 6 independent organizations belonging to the program countries, the spectrum of the program countries, from at least 3 program countries, EU members, non-EU members, as previously explained. And out of these, 2 of the partners must be higher education institutions, and 2 of them have to be enterprises or companies of any size, as explained before. So the lead applicant must be one of the eligible organizations belong to a partner country. Program country, sorry. Partner countries are eligible, but they can reinforce the consortia, playing the role of full partners. Also, associated partners are foreseen in order to create so-called ecosystems at different context level, together with higher education institutions, companies, business support organizations, public bodies, public administrators at any level, local, regional, national, and any kind of organizations that can play a role in order to foster the innovation of the competence systems at local level, according to what Giovanni Crisona said, is a sort of core concept that is very, very in line with the Knowledge Alliance's main focuses. Another requirement we have to respect, speaking about program countries, is that partners belonging to these countries, in case of they are higher institutions, they have to have a valid ECE, Erasmus chart for higher education. This requirement is not requested, is not compulsory for partner countries, for organizations belonging to any partner country. Regarding associated partners, just another information, as you know, they can reinforce the consortia, but they are they have no budget available for the implementation of the expected actions within the projects. They can participate in any activity, for example, implementation, for example, dissemination and exploitation of results, but without having a specific budget quota. This is a rule of the Erasmus program in general, we can say, so it's maintained also for knowledge alliances. So we can go on. Some focuses of the knowledge alliances as a peculiar action of the Erasmus program. We said innovation in learning and teaching methods and approaches. For example, innovation in curricula, so the co-design of new curricula involving stakeholders, multi-stakeholders platforms, and first of all, higher institutions and companies are very suggested and considered crucial for the innovation of the education system. We can think about a new form of learning and teaching methods that knowledge alliances foster as cross-cutting approach the innovation in open education. So basically referring to the digital transformation of learning and the free accessibility of the learning and training developed resources. We can innovate and through co-design new educational programs and training offer for companies, upskilling and reskilling of companies' workforces. We can also proceed and identifying the other possible focus, the experimentation of new schemes of skills. For example, embedding crucial soft skills and existing curricula, both thinking about higher education, existing curricula, and training offer for upskilling of the company workforce is considered as one of a leverage of the innovation. The cross-cutting interest to entrepreneurship education is considered crucial and one of the challenging items as well. So we can try to innovate curricula embedding this kind of skills, also referring to the Entrecomp framework defined by the European Commission in order to embedding entrepreneurship, education into existing curricula. And also we can cooperate together within the consortia, the multi-stakeholder platform, for trying to co-design new digital training tools that could be useful for innovating and increase the accessibility of the training resources through in the digital era. We can go on with the following slide, and other main focuses of the knowledge alliances could be related to tools and ways to share for fostering the co-creation of knowledge and the knowledge sharing processes among the different partners and over the partners according to a sustainability approach, we can say, after the end of the proposals, the implemented proposals. Other activities that could be suggested and considerable eligible could be study field related activities, also realized through concrete projects implemented in the companies. They can represent concrete case studies for deepening needs analysis or identifying common needs and challenges for the implementation of the innovations foreseen by the different projects we have to implement. Also, mobility as a powerful tool for improve and reinforce the employability skills and upskilling of the professionals and of the students. Also, in company trainers and staff could be considered eligible. Also, even if we have to think about short period mobility, short mobility. And the last example regarding a crucial activity we can consider eligible is also the co-design and development of services, products up to the realization of the first prototype in order to commercialize what we produce over the project, also using other funding opportunities, of course. Regarding the duration and the deadlines and also the budgets, the available financial resources for this kind of actions, we can say the Knowledge Alliance could have a duration of 2 or maximum 3 years. It's a centralized actions, so the submission must be realized to ESEA. The deadline is every year around the end of February, more or less, with the publication of the call around November. So for next steps and our future collaborative work regarding possible potential new proposal, we can work together in this period in order to wait the new call around November 2020. The available budget depends on the duration of the project. So if we speak about a 2-year project, we can ask up to 700,000 euro and up to 1 million euro for a project of 3 years. Of course, any information, any further information can be checked also within the Erasmus guide. The available version is also the 2020 version, and the session related to the Knowledge Alliance is you can find information around the page 135 of the guide. Also in the online version is checkable. Focusing on possible knowledge alliances in the maritime sector. That is the main focus of the webinar today. Maritime sector, of course, is a very wide sector, is in reality a supply chain, we can say. There is a lot of a variety of stakeholders that can cooperate together for innovation, for a participative approach to innovation. Some main concepts, some possible topics in order to facilitate our discussion in the interactive section that is foreseen under the webinar could be sustainability of production processes and circularity. You know that a cross-cutting attention to green innovation is also interesting for the sector. The development, the application of novel material, advanced materials could also be a topic that could be interesting for new consortia that would like to cooperate within knowledge alliances. Also, ICT integration, for example, EOT integrated to plants or systems or digital systems for increasing security or increasing the efficiency of logistics and related services could be a topic that we can explore depending of our common interests, of course. And as I said, every sector is facing relevant changes and very rapid changes because of the globalization of the economy, we can say. So new skills for emerging jobs, also considering the peculiarity of the partnership within the knowledge alliances, so higher education system and companies, could be one of the main topics that could be worthwhile to discuss together. Also in the next steps, of course, in the follow-up after the webinar. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Elena. I see that there is a lot of movement in the chat as well. People are asking for questions, so I will give directly the floor to Fabio Croci, Senior Project Manager of the Skillman team, to address those questions and also to illustrate the previous project's proposals. Thank you, Fabio.
Thanks to you, Valentina. Thanks to Elena and to Giovanni for the previous talks. My role will be basically to give the microphone to some of our connected friends because we have very relevant participants. I will name a few of those in a few seconds. But yes, I would like to answer, first of all, to some kind of question about the eligibility of program and partner countries. Elena, you made a stunning presentation, so I'm not going to add anything about the contents of the Knowledge Alliance. Just, I would like to clarify for those who are not used with the Erasmus Plus program about the comparison with other similar initiatives from the Erasmus Plus. We are under, anyway, under the KE-Action, so-called KE-Action 2, but about the eligibility of countries, not all the KE-Action 2 programs foresee the participation of external countries. So you know that there are program countries which are composed basically by the European members plus a few neighboring countries like Turkey, Norway, some other countries. And then we have the partner countries, which is not all the world, but let's say most part of the world, which can cooperate in some of those actions. So the knowledge alliances can bring some confusion about a comparison with other frameworks, particularly with the sector skill alliances on the one hand, and the capacity for higher education on the other hand. So first of all, the sector skill alliances are quite similar in terms of company-centered programs, because as you have understood and as Elena highlighted, in the knowledge alliances, we need really to bring in the partnership companies because we want a market-driven analysis of skills needs. The sector skill alliances are quite similar, but the sector skill alliances are only centered on program countries, so only for the European 7 plus those few other countries. On the other hand, we have the capacity building for higher education, which is focused on the higher education, so universities, and it is opened to the other countries of the world, but not only open, it is compulsory, mandatory, to have a cooperation with at least 2 other institutions, higher institutions in the rest of the world. And this is aimed to reform the curricula and the governments of the higher institution. In the case of the knowledge alliances, we have, let's say, a middle solution in which you are still working on company-driven needs, and you have to reform, as Elena has highlighted, curricula or governance of the higher institution, but you can involve also external countries. It is not mandatory, it is not compulsory. So the involvement of partners from other countries than the European member and foreign countries is directly connected to the added value they bring into a specific sector, cluster, or technology we want to address. Having said so, I would like to listen to some of our friends, connected friends. Let me mention some of you, because in terms of specific knowledge of experience on maritime sector and on knowledge alliances, I think that we have a very good representation today. Because I would like to name, first of all, Professor Yasser Dessouki from the Arab Institute of Technology and Maritime Transport. We had already previous contact with Professor Yasser. We are trying to cooperate with the institution, and I would like to listen in a few seconds to him, bringing his expertise, because he is already involved in other European projects. I know this is a very trusted partner, and I would like to have his feedback. I would like also to listen to our friend, Mr. Julian Enge, which is, as you mentioned, Valentina, the vice president of IVITA, but he has also represented the Warnbrook College, which is already managing a knowledge alliance, and his expertise will be, of course, welcome. I know that we have also other friends connected focusing on the maritime sector. I think that also Blenard Xerafai is connected from an Albanian university focusing on maritime and shipbuilding sector. I would like to give the microphone. Also, I would like to give the microphone to our friends from the Assembly of European Regions, because as Elena said, it is also foreseen by the call the involvement of public stakeholders with relevant competence in this sector, not the maritime sector, but the building of new curricula focusing on skill need analysis. So any of you can take the microphone to give his feedback. So I would invite, first of all, Professor Yasser, if you are connected and you can turn on your microphone. I would like to have from your part a short presentation about the Arab Institute and your feedback about previous projects. Professor Yasser.
Thank you, Fabio. Good morning, everyone. I'm very glad actually to join this very interesting web. We are in the Arab Academy for Science and Technology and Maritime Sport. We started actually as a regional hub for the MENA area, which is Middle East and North Africa, to support and increase the capacity of the cadets in the sea. And then we actually extended our activities to other science like engineering, business and administration, pharmacy. But we started as a maritime transport academy, and initially its name, when I joined 30 years ago, it was Arab Academy for Maritime Transport, and then we changed the name to the new name. So this is just to give you that we started as a maritime transport. We are very honored to cooperate with you, and we are trying to build a strategic partnership with the institution, Fabio, and I thank you and all the team and the who are working with you. And I'm very confident that we will make something very fruitful and successful for both of us very soon. Very much.
Thanks to you, Professor Yasser. Yes, I'm confident too. As Elena said, we are starting with a long time design activity. As Elena said, the next call for the Knowledge Alliance is foreseen in the first months of the 2021. So we really have the time to conduct a very deep analysis of the needs. I will call for this and for some previous expertise, if connected, Professor Julian Enge. Julian, are you with us?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Great.
Please, Julian.
Well, first of all, I'm not an expert, so don't treat me as such. But as Vice President of the European region for IVATA, we do have many members who have participated in knowledge alliances. And also, I'm sure if there are people here who are looking for potential partners, I'm sure we can put a call out to our existing members to see if anybody would like to partner with you. So that's something we can do to help you. In my very limited knowledge of knowledge alliances, I would say that when you design your projects, you need to be very, very clear with the impact that you're going to have, particularly not just the short term, but medium to long term as well. The sustainability of your project and the outcomes that you hope to generate, I think would be very, very key and very important to the European Union when they review your overall eligibility and your success. So there are many ways in which you can make this useful, particularly if you're trying to push new methodologies or methods or new learning ways to, I suppose, integrate more the career side with the academic side. I think that's what's really needed to see that there are real practical outcomes. So basically involve more of the real world within academia and see how both sides can benefit each other. So that's my 2 pence worth.
Thank you very much, Julian. May I ask you one more thing? As Elena said and stressed, from the program countries, we need higher institutions with this Erasmus Charter for higher institutions. So, according to my knowledge, there already have been the last call for this accreditation. If a university from the European country is interested to join this kind of knowledge alliance, but doesn't have this accreditation, is there enough time to be accredited before the next call in February 2021 or not?
I'm not sure. I think my understanding is that you need at least 2 main partners who have this charter, because from the definition I've read of who is eligible, it's not just higher education institutions. So I think maybe the key applicant would have to have an Erasmus charter, but I think it can be made up of other people as well, organizations that contribute to the sector, for example, but may not necessarily be a higher education institution. But
sure,
Elena might know more.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. We will do an in-depth analysis on this topic. Let me also remember that together with IVITA and the Skillman network, even if not connected today with us, we have a lot of members which are interested to this topic of the maritime sector. We have already a quite long list of institutes, including universities and research centers. So we will invite them to join our future discussions on the common repository Valentina was mentioned in the beginning. So we will have, of course, more inputs and more potential partners to analyze. But I have seen in the list of participants that also Professor Glenark Sefarai is connected. Can you hear me?
Maybe.
Hello, yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, good morning. Can you go to... Hi.
Hello, Bernard. Hello.
Helena.
Hi, can you introduce yourself and give to us at a glance a presentation of your institution so that we can better...
Yes,
Thank
of
you.
course. I am glad to be here in this webinar. We are in Albania, in the south part of Albania. We are part of University of Vlora. We have study programs in naval engineering, so naval architecture and marine engineering. We have study programs in mechanical and electrical engineering. Previously, we had some international project in the framework of Tempus programs, the previously of Erasmus, which is focused on modernizing curricula in higher education in Albania and Montenegro. In regards of IMO certifications. Also, we give expertise of public institutions, and we have collaborations in internet project with Econautic, for example, or in some other projects of aiming in green shipping mobility, or for example, for Industry 4.0 in maritime sector. So we have some expertise in this field.
Thank you very much, Bernard. Your expertise will be very important in the forthcoming weeks and months when we are going to better analyze the specific needs. As also Julian was saying, the impact is very important, and this kind of analysis must be carried on through, of course, a joint analysis of the needs of our clusters and our districts. As Elena was saying in the beginning, the involvement of companies is also mandatory, and it must be analyzed together. We don't have any direct company, SME or bigger company involved in this webinar. These will be carried on in the forthcoming months together in order to be sure that we can involve the higher quality of those kind of partners. We have also, for instance, here in Tuscany, even if we don't have any partner in this webinar, I had the previous contacts and they gave similar opportunities with a cluster that we have, which is focused on the mega yacht building and sailboats, mega sailboats. So we have a specific cluster here in which we can involve companies, but I haven't done anything yet before having done together a skill analysis. And this will be carried on in the forthcoming weeks together with the support also with the support of the expertise of Giovanni Crisanao, who introduced himself in the beginning, because we have a sector, which is the maritime, which has not yet been invested in knowledge alliances, apart from some specific technologies, but it is a new sector for the Erasmus Plus program under new knowledge alliances. But we need to focus on specific topics. And I think, Valentina, we can do such exercise together now with a cluster word game, okay? Together to focus something better during this webinar.
Sure, I will get to the right. Do you want to give just a few words on the Basecamp platform, Fabio?
Let's stay in the end, if you don't mind, because I would like to start with some more on our platform with the keywords. So you can drive this part, Valentina or Elena, I don't remember.
Sure. I'm showing now the main slide with the information to access the platform, as I explained earlier. The platform is slido.com, so just please try to access the page if you haven't done it before. Otherwise, you should be already there. There's an access code, the word clouds, that you have to enter. Or alternatively, you can just scan the code on the right of the screen and access the platform. hold on a second. Okay, there you go. So this one is the platform. I have mistakenly refreshed the page. Just a second. Should be coming up again.
So basically, this is, let's say, a game in which we can contribute just to focus on which are the keywords. And the main question, the first question, can I read it, is while you are reloading, is what are the main innovative features in the maritime sector? What we have seen was pre-filled, Valentina, because we have, can you remind me, we had already done this exercise?
Yes, we have already, I have already in my invitation message yesterday and the day before, I have already set up some kind of reflection on this point. So all the participants should have been able to access the word cloud even before the event. So today we're just going to see the first responses, and we're going to add some more.
Okay, very good. While you are loading, let me also say that I mentioned before, but I didn't give the microphone to Assembly of European Region. I will do it in a few seconds, depending on how many time it takes to load these. Well, in the meantime, Agnese, are you connected with us?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, very well. Good morning, Agnese. Thank you for being here from the Assembly of European Region. I was mentioning you before in terms of the involvement of public stakeholders and the engagement of public authorities in such programs, the Knowledge Alliance programs. Can you give your contribution on these?
Yes.
Thank you. Please.
Yes, just a little introduction for the participants that don't know who we are. So the Assembly of European Regions is a network of regions within the wider Europe. In our network, there are about 150 regions from 32 countries. I'd like to specify that the Assembly of European Regions is a generalistic network. So our network is not specialized just in one field, for instance, innovation, environment, etc. But we approach the different topics. Our member regions actually are working quite much in European projects in general, and I can report to you that there is more and more interest to apply for European founded projects. And many of our regions are interested in the Erasmus Plus in general, and especially I cannot tell you now I cannot report now any specificity regarding the maritime sector, but in our network there are many regions where because of the geographical location this is important. So what I would like to share with you when it comes to apply for European projects, as actually Julian said before, is that we can help you in facilitating consortium building, for instance, or if you are thinking about applying for a project within this Knowledge Alliance key actions, we can actually connect you with our network of regions. I'm happy to share here in the chat a link where we can, where are listed basically our services when it comes to European projects, as well as our contact details. So if you are thinking to apply for a project within the next call of Knowledge Alliance, you can actually get in touch with us and we can facilitate this process.
Very good. Thank you very much, Agnese. Of course, we will, because the engagement of public stakeholders is very relevant, and it will help us to better analyze the clusters during the design and the network building. Of course, you will be invited as all the other participants in our common project management platform, so that what we are sharing in this chat box will be also available in the repository, in the common repository of this project. I have a colleague of mine connected today, which is Federica Labadia. Federica will take care of all the follow-up actions, including sending you emails and invitations to this restricted area in which we will start to cooperate. In the meantime, as you can see, we have done our first part of our common exercise, so we can see a lot of inputs related to which are the main innovative features in the maritime sectors on our specific expertise. This is a first step. Of course, we will be better finalize it in the forthcoming months, but it is very interesting representation we have here. Of course, we have a lot of topics related to digitalization, automation, and Internet of Things. This is for sure one important topic, according to my understanding. Let's say that there is also a second very relevant area, which is connected to energy, ecological sustainability, renewable energy, and other green shipping, whatever is in the green, of course, is relevant. And let's say the innovation in the logistic and other integrated logistics, whatever is very important. I see also that there are a few words which I don't know why haven't been coupled, but about innovative materials. But we will better, of course, analyze everything. I think, Federica, if you can join us, can you remind me what we have said? Are we going to make some kind of survey to better analyze it and to give more details? Are you connected, Federica?
Hello. Hi. Yes, I'm connected. I'm here.
Yeah, hi Federica. Sorry for this not expected involvement. Just to be sure, we agreed in the last days that we would have done some kind of exercise. Is it correct to say that our participants to the webinar will be invited to some kind of survey to better analyze those topics?
Yes, that's true. We said, first of all, we would have done the word cloud exercise to identify the main keywords. Then we would have done a second one on innovative technologies, and the third one on emerging skills on the core areas.
Very, very good. So there will be a follow-up on these, and we will give you will give to us in more detailed instruction to how to fulfill those steps. But going on with this exercise, we have a next step, Valentina, isn't it?
Sure, let's move to the second word cloud. This one is new today. We haven't accessed it before the event, so we're going to do it live streaming. So again, all the participants are invited to answer this question. What are the significant technologies in the maritime sector according to you? Any word is welcome. You can write more than one word. And we can do it all together right now. The first words are appearing on the screen already. I would like to say that the more times a word is used, the bigger it becomes. So that is also interesting for us to analyze the results later. The first answers are coming up. We can see IoT, Internet of Things again, logistics management, innovative material, robotics, of course. IoT for now seems to be the most used word from the participants. Automation, of course, geolocation. I think it's a good start to see the first results given by the participants so far. We have a few more words coming up. Environmental protection, this is a new word that we haven't analyzed yet, but yes, it's the first time we see it, but it's also very important and important technologies in the maritime sector. I would say mainly we have robotics, blockchain, IoT, so related to technologies and innovations. Let's give a few more seconds for everybody to give their contribution and add their comments on this word cloud. This again will be a very important part to start with for our next joint work together. So we invite all the participants to add their comments or ideas, main word, in this word cloud here online. The question is, what are the significant technologies in the maritime sector? What do you think they are? The key technologies that we have to focus on in the next years in the maritime sector. Green technology stands out. It's been chosen by many of the participants, so of course, this is also a very important result. IoT, Internet of Things, robotics again. So I think, Fabio, these are the first reactions from the audience.
Very good, very good. I have to answer to Professor Yasser, who is not able to join this exercise, but don't worry, Yasser, this is just a first step. We will better analyze the needs in our restricted area. So this is just a first game to go in with some discussion in the forthcoming activities we are going to carry on. But don't worry. Do we have a third and final step, Valentina?
Yes, we do. In the meantime, I would like to remind to Professor Yasser that right now we are live streaming, on our main page, Skillman.eu/live, and after this session, the video will be uploaded in the same platform, so you will be able to see the content again. Just a digression here. We have the last step, the third word cloud. So the third word cloud is, what are, always according to you, the new emerging skills in the maritime sector? So again, we just opened the poll now. So we are waiting to see the first reaction from the participants with their ideas, comments. Again, we can see all the results coming out live during the section. The first results are coming out. The first responses are to be given by the participants. So what are the new emerging skills in the maritime sector? What do you think are the new emerging skills required for this sector? Again, this will be useful for us to identify those skills and also in view of a joint work for future calls. I see cultural communication, computing, design, cultural communication, logistics engineering, automation again. So automation, we have seen it already with the main key technologies, and it's also a skill that is being chosen by the participants. Computing, digital transformation. So of course, digitalization is one of the main keys and skills that is required by the sector for the future. Now we start seeing that some words have been chosen by more people, so they become bigger, and they are prioritized in our screen right now. Automation is one of those. So we see that automation is a word that has been chosen by many of you. Of course, it's a very key word in our reflection. I see a few more, but I think for now it's, I would say it's enough, Fabio. What do you think?
Yes, very good. Those 3 steps were helpful to better understand which are the first keywords to work on. Of course, we will have time to involve other relevant stakeholders to add their contributions. But yes, we will share those keywords also in the closed repository. So maybe it is time to show, coming to an end, to show this Basecamp workspace. If you have, if you can come back to your previous slide, Valentina, in which we have just an overview of Basecamp. Is it up to me to show it, or to you, Valentina? I don't remember what we agreed.
I have it on my control. Yes, I just need a second.
Very good. So anyway, you will receive this invitation. Basecamp is a third-party project management platform. We have personalized the contents. It is a very easy to use. We will start to work together in this closed space in order to better analyze the needs and to start.
Sorry, Fabio, can you see the screen? Can you see the slide? Okay.
Yes, we can see. So we will start to work together to work on a first concept note. You will see that there are different areas. So we have, of course, a to-do platform in which we will assign tasks. We have the common calendar, agenda. Then you can see there is the chat box, and the chat box is some kind of way we can share these keywords, the ideas, the first steps to go on with a more structured documents. The documents will be shared in the repository which we have named the docs and files. We will work together on shared documents like Google Documents and Google Sheets, in which we can cooperate for improve the documents or give comments. We will have guidance on this. But anyway, this is the area. You will receive this invitation. We will start together to work on a first concept note. The concept note will be done on a very standard template we adopt, in which we will clarify the specifics of the call, which are the requirements, which are the tasks and the main objectives we want to achieve. So this will be a very important document in which we need to cooperate. We are not going to from our side to give you a final document. We will need you to better understand which are the topics, the sectors, and the technologies we want to address. Starting from, I suppose, the forthcoming days, you will receive this invitation through our email. We are going to invite other relevant stakeholders. So if you have also in your direct network relevant contacts to invite, please let us know, so we will give them access. Well, I think that's it in terms of the main tool. I don't remember if you want to say something more. And anyway, if other friends are connected and want to say something, or if I forgot to mention something, let me know and give your contribution.
Just only to say that I've pasted a link for feedback. So if you can give us feedback on this webinar to help us improve future sessions, that would be fantastic. Thank you.
Thanks to you, Julian. Of course, yes, we can see your link. Please follow this link to give your feedback. Elena, is it everything fine from your side? Do you think we forgot something about the Knowledge Alliance and no something else? Of course, this will be coordinated by Elena. So in terms of leading the writing of the concept note, you will follow the Elena instruction. Please, Elena.
Well, I think that...
Excuse me, Elena. As we don't know how many people are following us in live streaming, if you don't put in the screen the address to vote for the follow-up for the evaluation they cannot access. So better to share it on the screen, not only in the chat.
Okay, I will ask to Valentina to do it because you have the presenter mode. So if you can copy and paste the link, you can do it by yourself. Please, Elena.
I think that for the first step, it's really enough, really an interesting webinar. Thank you very much for your contributions, and we will stay in touch for the follow-up, for going to deep in the different aspects and possible issues in order to design a challenging proposal, we can say, waiting for the next call. So thank you very much once again. I think that in order to manage the time, we can go to the final remarks and to organize rapidly the follow-up of the event. Thank you very much to you all.
Thanks to you, Elena. Well, the final step, if Valentina wants to take the microphone, just to remind us which are the next steps.
Sure, I will. Okay. Just a second of patience. Yes, you can see my screen now. So as we mentioned before, the event today is streamed live on Skillman.eu/live. After the section, it will remain uploaded in the database, so you'll be able to access it. And also, apart from this, we will get in touch with you after this webinar with the next steps and the instructions to join our workspace, our joint workspace. So I will be in touch with all of you after that. The material of the presentation and all the slides, including all the contents that Elena has shared with us today that are very valuable and we don't want to lose them. So everything will be shared with all of you after the webinar, of course. So I'm here to just remind you the next event we are going to have on July the 15th, same time, so 10 a.m. CET, Central European Time, a webinar on policymakers. That webinar is also belongs to the series of EU funds opportunities. That one is going to be on implementing innovative vet policies through transnational cooperation. In that occasion, we will have our representative from Bangladesh, our senior representative from Bangladesh, who is going to lead the presentation and discussion. So we hope that we can have your contribution, and we hope we can have high participation level from the audience. Our colleague Luca Guardincieri is going to share with you right now in the chat section the links to be able to register for the event and to get more information. So that is it from my side. That is all I wanted to say. Please don't forget to do the feedback that Julian has mentioned earlier. We actually very much appreciate your comments and ideas on this webinar, on the organization of the webinar. So if there's no other comments from the audience or from Fabio, Elena, anyone else, I think we can close up and wrap up today's webinar. Thank you very much for coming, for attending. Again, we'll be in touch soon. Thank you all for participating, and have a good day.
Have a good day. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye. Thanks.